don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe I like put the wrong link. I have no idea what happened. So I do apologize for being a little late to the game. But let's go ahead and start. Tonight, we are really going to be talking about really simple steps that we might be missing in our businesses. Just simple things that we can overlook, especially if we're getting really caught up in all of the things that we have to do. So let's first give some shout outs this week to some amazing successes that have happened. First of all, congratulations to the top recruiters of the week. Ronnie Jo had 3 new coaches in her organization. Rachel had 3, and Megan brought in 4 this week. Also want to give a special shout out to Kirsten Jones, who is on this call. I see her over there. She did something really big in her business, and for those of you who might be new or aren't really sure what that means, Success Club Legend is somebody who has committed to achieving Success Club for 24 consecutive months, meaning for 24 months, she has not missed Success Club. But on top of that, it isn't just Success Club 5, it is Success Club 10 for 24 months. So it's a huge accomplishment, and it really goes to show that like consistency, that effort, that like just that goes in over time. Like this is somebody who's building a business, somebody who knows what we have to offer, someone who stands very firm with the belief of what Beachbody can do for people. And I'm actually going to call her out right now. I don't know if she posted them publicly, but she shared in our small group like her results so far post-baby, and she looks absolutely amazing. And so she truly is a product of the product. So I really want to shout her out. She's an amazing coach, amazing friend, amazing mama, and I couldn't be more proud of her. So congratulations to everybody who has who's on this board. Congratulations to those who've achieved Success Club. You guys are doing amazing. And of course, our top producers of the week, Ronnie Jo on the KB, and Janelle as well on One Fit Fam. And then also, I don't know why, I think I forgot to put the number up here, but both the KB and One Fit Fam this week welcomed 22 new coaches into the organization. So well done, 44 total coaches between our 2 organizations. Such a wonderful job. So let's kind of dive into the call though, what I am planning on talking about tonight. So I think this is it. All right, so this is not going to be a fancy call by any means, but it is definitely a call where as we get through Q1, so in your Beachbody business, you have 4 quarters, and really at the end of Q1, one of the most important things we can do is really take a look at what our goals are and really how close we have gotten to being able to achieve them. So as coaches, yes, we want to spend time working on what do we want to do by the end of the year? You know, what do we want to do at Summit? Do we want to be walking across the stages at Diamond? You know, are we maybe wanting to walk across the stage as a Success Club legend? Are we really wanting to increase our income to 6 figures? Like, we know where we want to go. In January, it's fresh, it's new, we're excited, we know the products that are coming out within the first quarter, and we get really, really pumped. But what I often find is that when we have those goals, and then maybe we have a tough week, or maybe we have a not so great month, or maybe we have not a great launch, or maybe we're just kind of tricked up over some things, we kind of have to gut check ourselves, and we have to go back and remind ourselves, like, what is it that I am really working towards? And am I actually really willing to do the work that it's going to take to get there? So this call is going to be short, and it's meant to have you guys start thinking about those Q1 goals and where you are now versus where you want to be. So let's take a minute to gut check. So I am going to give the full disclosure right now. As a coach on your team, do I have permission to give you a gut check? Do I have permission to speak incredibly honestly and not hold back for a couple of minutes? Because I know some of the goals of the people who are on this call, and I know where they want to be able to go, and I also know where they are. So here are a couple things that I really want you to think about. Gut check question number 1. Am I problem or solution oriented? Number 2, do I like big butts? Number 3, do I still reside at Square One Drive? Number 4, am I an informational hoarder? And number 5, do I say I should do that, or do I do that? So let's break this down. When we know we have a problem in our way, we have an obstacle that we are facing, do we stay super, super focused on what the obstacle is, or are we already removed from what the obstacle is because we're so busy trying to find a solution to the problem? So when you think about maybe, the launch, right? So your ultimate portion fix launch. Maybe you started thinking about the fact that, it didn't work for you in the past, or maybe you started to think about like, you don't really want a nutritional program, or all of your people are really, really fitness focused. And before you know it, you have created this problem for yourself, and you have really built up the problem of why you can't do something, that you forget to focus on the solution. Number 2, buts. So if somebody is giving you they're giving you a suggestion, and they're maybe like helping you out, or maybe they're giving you a technique or a strategy for you to try, do you often say, yeah, but, and instead of really saying, oh, that's a good idea, I am going to try that, you would rather insert the word but, because maybe there's a part of you who is feeling like you would rather be in excuse mode. Number 3 is what you were doing last year not working anymore. And you're so stuck on it that you really want it to work, but it can't work for you. And I'm going to give you an example. Actually, I'm going to give you guys 2 examples of something personally that's happened in my business. I loved working my Facebook business page. And in 2016, it was growing. It was working. It was getting shares. People were engaging. It was phenomenal. And then it was in 2018, I could not get my Facebook page to work. I could not get, people to engage. I was putting out great content, but it wasn't being seen. And I was getting really, really frustrated. And I didn't want to change. I had built an audience on my Facebook business page. I was posting content that was very much on brand, but it wasn't working. And I kept inserting that word but. I kept saying like, this isn't working. This isn't working. And I was so focused on wanting to stay on my Facebook business page that I was not even thinking about the fact that I have an Instagram account, and everybody is saying they're going to Instagram and they're getting results on Instagram. So I stayed on my Facebook business page trying to get this to work instead of even trying something new. So by the time I had started my Instagram account, I started to see results on there. I started to see that people were engaging. I started to understand that there was an audience of people who were not familiar with my Beachbody story. They weren't even familiar with Beachbody. They really weren't even familiar with 2B Mindset. So I really said, okay, there's something to be said about getting out of your own way. So if you have been trying to get something to work that used to work, but it's no longer working, you have to remove yourself from Square One Drive. Number 4, informational hoarder. And these are the people who get on a call like you're on tonight, and you take all the notes and you're like, amen, yep, that's me, I've got that, this is me, absolutely, totally me, I relate to everything she's saying, amen, hallelujah, best call ever. And then you don't do anything with the information. and you just let the information sit. It was a good call. And then that information sits for so long that you actually forget that you even took that information in. It just sits in a binder somewhere in your office, and you never even pull it out. You never even use it. So you take in all the information and then you let it sit. Or the last one is, do I say I should do that, or do I do that? So this is just another like true story, like an example. So Melanie and I, we've started working on a side project together, and we've been working really closely together. And I noticed that with her, that no one has ever mentioned before, but when you work with Melanie Mitcher, she doesn't pause and overthink it. She just does it. If she has a 10-minute window to get invitations done, or a 10-minute window to do a live video, or 15 minutes to really make a quick phone call, she does it. How many of us actually say, oh, I should do that. I'll write that down to do later, and then we never do it, right? So if you catch yourself saying, oh, I should do that, but then you don't actually do it, we have a problem. So I don't know about you, but as I was actually getting ready for this call, I was like, where am I staying? Like, what are the things that I am doing? And so I put a big check mark next to that I should do that, because that's where I see my struggle coming in. But where are you? Like, when you look at these check marks, which ones do you find yourself stuck at? Which ones are the reasons why you're creating this gap between where you wanted to close out Q1 and where you currently are? And if you want to call yourself out so we can hold you accountable to it, you can, but you don't have to. But there is probably something on this slide that's making you go, oh yeah, amen, that is totally me. I know that I should do that. And then you might catch yourself doing that, all right? So how do we actually shift that focus? How do we change this so that we have a simple solution to what we want to be able to do? All right, so let's think about this. We have to have an end in mind, right? Where we want to end, where we want to end the year, where we want to end the month, where we want to end the week, where we want to end the day, right? Because really, to have a great business starts with having a great day, and that means we're taking great action in our business. So if I want to think about the end, if I want to think about what do I want to be able to do, and for me, it's sitting all right here, right? So I have like my vision board that I keep on the ground, that whenever I look down, I see it and it's all written down. If I know what I want to be able to achieve, these are a couple of things that I really, really want you to do. Number one, I want you to adopt a plan A mentality. So plan A mentality is when you don't have the plan B. And it's easy to have a plan B if you have an easy out, right? If you have a reason that you can do Beachbody, but you don't really have to do Beachbody. So I remember when I was in the trenches of building my business, and this was really before I really figured out my why for the business. And all I really wanted to do was make a little bit extra money so I could extend a maternity leave. And I knew that I was just extending the maternity leave. It wasn't to leave my teaching job. It wasn't to really do anything like sensational with the business. It was really just a little bit of extra time with my family. I wasn't thinking long-term. I wasn't thinking about like really where I saw myself in a couple of years. I just had that, like, I have my plan B. This is fine for now. This is all good. But here's what happened. When I went on that maternity leave, life happened, okay? So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma right after we had lost our benefits with the school district. So all of a sudden, that sweet, wonderful maternity leave that I was going to spend with my kiddos, with my children, and ended up being, this is when I have to battle cancer. So it became no other option. My business was a must. It wasn't just that would be nice. it became a must. So maybe you're not where I was, where you really need that like shift, but then borrow it. So think to yourself, what if what I'm doing right now was swept out from underneath me? Like, what if the job that I have now, all of a sudden I walked in and my boss fired me? What if everything that I have worked so hard for, like my marriage or, whatever it might be, was just gone tomorrow? And all you had was Beachbody. Would it make you work a little bit harder? Heck yes, it would make you work a little harder. If you knew that this wasn't an option and this was the only option, there was no plan B, you would really focus on it being your plan A mentality. So looking back at the first slide that I did, when you're looking at that gut check, that's like your plan B. If you're in any of those areas, you're running your business like it's plan B. But if you have an end in mind, you're adopting that plan A mentality. If there was no other option, if this was the only option, if I had to make this work, am I working it right now like it's plan A? And then the other great example is just from Darren Hardy, right? If you guys read The Compound Effect, you probably remember this analogy. You have two huge buildings, and then the one side of the building is on fire, and you're like, and someone's like, you should walk across this tightrope, the building's on fire, and you're like, why would I do that? That's crazy. I'm not doing that. That's so much effort, and I could get hurt or something. I'm not doing it. But when you put the motivation of your child on that burning building on the roof, you are going to do everything in your power to get across there. You are going to go across that tightrope. You are going to get your child away from the burning building, and then you are going to do everything in your power to make it work, right? You're going to do everything in your power to make sure that your child is safe. Your business has to be run like that. If you want to achieve the goals that you have for yourself, especially if they are big goals, you have to adopt that plan A mentality. There is no other option. So when you have your end in mind, ask yourself, am I serving well? Do I really believe that I am doing this job, the service that it needs? Am I doing my client service? Am I doing my coach's service? So let me ask you another gut check question. If you actually didn't earn your SC points until somebody had committed to you for 30 days, right? If somebody hadn't actually started the program and done the program, if you wouldn't earn those points until 1 month in with that client of yours, would you still feel like you deserve those points? So here we are, beginning of the month, right? Everybody's sold like a UPF challenge pack. You're excited. Yes, SC2. Are you more excited at the end of the month, at the end of 4 weeks, when your client shows you the results than you were when you earned the points? So are you committed to their results? Do they matter to you? And are you proud of the work that you are doing as a coach? Keep in mind that this is the type of business that you're not going to make any type of substantial income unless you are making an impact. So knowing that you want to make an impact, knowing that your job is to help people get results, and knowing that in order for them to get results means that you have to show up even after you got paid for the product. You still have to show up and do the work. You're starting to adopt the plan A mentality. So think about it. All right, what do I have to do, right? This is what I truly believe makes a big difference. Let me caution you. The Beachbody disclaimer, let's put it up in bright lights, right? We're not making an income with this business unless we're making an impact. And I don't know what the disclaimer is. I should probably have it tattooed somewhere because somebody's always asking for it. But nobody has the right to make an income with this unless we're doing the work, okay? But this is work. It's not selling somebody a mascara and then saying, enjoy your mascara, we never have to talk again. You're making a commitment to someone, then they sign up as a challenger or if they sign up as a coach. So we want to make sure that when we are putting this out there to people, we're actually going to start focusing on the type of people we really do want to work with. So here are the things that I do each month that are helping me actually attract those right people. So number one, I implement my marketing strategy. So in the KB, I share this every week. It is just social media like for the week. So each week I break it down. But before I break it down, I also have in my mind what my goals are for the month. How many people I want to bring on as clients, how many people I want to bring in as coaches, and what I actually need to put in my content to have those goals met. And then I break it down. So I set that goal, and then at the end, at every week, I benchmark it and say, okay, how many SC points do I want to have by this date? How many conversations do I want to have? How many objections might I get if I'm going to achieve this goal? So I break it down from month to week to, most importantly, the daily activities, which we all know are the basics. It's the foundation of our business, right? We know that we have to invite and not just post. We have to have conversations with people. We know that we have to follow up. We know that we have to do our personal development. We know that we have to be a product of the product and that we have to share our experiences with it. We know that we also have to do the job of making sure our clients, the current clients we have, are getting amazing results as well. But when I look at the month that I have, I simplify this and say, how can I best serve the people who haven't even signed up? And that's kind of what I'm gonna go into in a minute here. But every month you commit to saying what you're going to do and you actually follow through with it. So if you say, I am going to be an SC legend, that means that this month you have to show up and hit SC. If you say that you are going to sign up 5 new clients this month, you need to make sure that you are having enough conversations and you are sharing the content enough that people know your doors are open for business. If you say that you are going to recruit 5 coaches to your organization, you have to put the invitation out that your doors are open for the coaching business too. Are you doing a sneak peek? Are you like, do you have an email list of some sort? Are you posting about the coaching opportunity on a regular basis? So every month when you set these goals, your marketing strategy should reflect what those goals are. So when you look back at your month, you can say, well, if I said my goal was SC10, but I only shared 1 or 2 posts about being invited to a challenge group, I'm probably not going to get the results that I want. Here's the other piece of it. Your results are not going to be in any way guaranteed, right? You have to test things out. Some things are gonna fail. Some things you just gotta flip it up. Sometimes you gotta reverse the way that you're doing it. You gotta retest it. You gotta put it back out. I'll give you an example. Megan and I have this sneak peek into coaching right now that's making us want to take our heads and bash it off of a wall. And I'm not even being dramatic at all. We can't tag people in it. We can't get people to converse with us. We have these great people who look just like Megan and I, and we're like, they would be great. They seem so normal. And we cannot quite figure it out. But here's the truth. As frustrating as it kind of is, we're also really curious about it. We're asking ourselves, why isn't this working? You know, what is it that we can do that will help them see it? Should we maybe create events? What if we post more often? What if we try to create an engagement? Should we be private messaging each of these people? What if, you know, like how? Like we keep sort of circling that mountain. What if we send out more emails? Do we send them back over to IG? So it's a lot, but it's a lot of trial and error. And we also know that it will work if we just don't give up on it. And it just has become part of our marketing strategy for the month as well, okay? So here are like 5 things that I want you to think about for the month. Number 1, we're adding value and we're adding to our contacts every month. If we want to grow this business, we have to add value. We have to show up. We have to show up in our grid. We have to show up in our stories. We have to show up in our timeline. We have to show up and add value. Number two, this is kind of like a slight edge thing that I think really makes a difference. We have to provide something that people are like, oh, sign me up. Yep, I need that. And it can be a free group. It can be a free resource. It can be some type of training, but it's something that qualifies you as somewhat different and willing to give, because people are really, they're so hesitant to sign up for things. If they feel like they are going to be sold to and they don't feel like they can trust you, they are not going to want to sign up. They are going to hesitate before that. So we want to make sure that we are showing up and we're providing people with something of value to them. Number three, we have to make sure we're inviting. Not just in our social media, but we're having these conversations with people. We're having private messages, conversations. We're having the type of conversations that happen face to face. We're having conversations via email. It is not just a business opportunity happening right on our grid. It is not just a post and saying, I posted, that counts. You have to remember that an invitation is a feeling. You have to be inviting too. So yes, you want your grid, you want your Facebook page, you want it to all be inviting, but that's because when you do invite, it feels like you're being authentic. Number four, and this is gonna be one I'm gonna be a stickler about, is you have to grow your email list or create some type of way that you can connect with people that isn't just in your DM. Like that isn't just in your Facebook Messenger or your Instagram DM. You have to find a way for you to connect with them outside of that social area. And the reason that I say that, and last week was a great example of it, right? Facebook, Instagram went down. I'll be honest with you, I took a nap and it was so wonderful. It was so wonderful and I loved every second. And I have decided that I need to call Mark Zuckerberg and I need to tell him that every entrepreneur in the world needs social media to shut down for at least like 10 hours once a week. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So anyways, but I am sharing this because if it was gone, would you still have your contacts? If it really was gone, would you have all your contacts? Because if you don't, that's a problem. We want to make sure that we're getting our email list up. And then 5, of course, I'm big on this one. We got to make an impact. So breaking this down just a little bit further on how you're going to add value. Okay, so this was step 1. When you are creating your conversations with people, when you're connecting with them on social media, people want to genuinely feel like they get you. Like I love when I go on to Instagram and I follow this mommy blogger who she has 2 kids and she's a cancer survivor and she's really, really witty and really, really funny. And every time I go on to her page, I feel like she's actually talking to me, but she's not. I mean, she's talking to anyone in general, but I feel like she always offers me value. She always offers me something that I want to come back to. And she's created this culture of trust and a community right in her content, like right on her grid. So is your content connecting with your audience? Like, are you so focused on how can I serve instead of how can I sell? It's such a difference. And so how do you do that? You just give. You give, you give, you give. You give funny things. You give free things. You give experiences. You give stories. You give connections. You ask for advice. People want to be heard, but you focus on giving, adding values, tips, resources so that people want to come back to your page because they're like, you're legit. Like you actually aren't, I don't go to your page feeling like you're selling me. So selling to me. So add value and add your contacts as well as provide resources to people. If you want to really add connections, like genuine connections, like true connections with people, you are going to have to start driving that community right onto your page. How can you get people to engage more with the things that you are saying? and start with taking the sell out of it. Just focus on adding the value piece of it. All right, so then I also want you to say, how can I invite? Am I actually inviting people into what I'm doing? So whether it's the business opportunity or into a challenge group, there are quite a few ways that you can do this. You can do it through your posts. For me, the sweet spot is like a 1 out of 9. A call to like specifically act, like to actually sign up, to fill out an application, to join my business opportunity. At this point is 1 out of 9 on my grid or 1 out of 9 on my Facebook. My stories are every day. Every day there's an invitation. So there's a poll option, there's a swipe up. A lot of times that question GIF, I will just say like, hey, drop your email below. I think I had one up today that was like, if you want my free 5-day meal plan or get fit for a vacation or whatever, I don't remember what I called it, but I like have people drop their email for it. And so every day, like I am inviting them there. So through your posts, yes, but on your stories, you can do that every day. Absolutely every day. A lot of one-on-ones, just having a conversation. If you have a friend, a colleague, somebody that you work with, somebody that you went to Weight Watchers with, somebody that maybe did Beachbody before but is considering getting back into it, one-on-one conversations. Ask for referrals. If you have current clients who aren't necessarily coaching, if you have already asked them about coaching and they're not interested, ask them for referrals. Go back to your objections or those who ghosted you. I was on a call earlier tonight with Kelly Aber, and she was telling us the story about how we were doing this 100 challenge. We have this mentorship group, and I was challenging all of them to invite 100 people last week. And at first their eyes got really, really big, like, oh my gosh, you are crazy. Like, I can't do that. And then they started to do it, right? And so one of the girls that Kelly had messaged, she was an objection. She had given her like 2 or 3 objections before, and she got the sale. Today was the day. She sent that message at the right time, a message she wouldn't have otherwise said because it was an objection. It was somebody who had said no to her, or people who have ghosted you as well. You want to make sure that you are constantly inviting them. You know, every time that somebody says no or I get ghosted, I end that message with, you know, totally understand now is not the month. Do I have permission to follow up with you next month? Absolutely. Absolutely. And then guess what you do the next month? You follow up with them. You follow up with them again and again and again. Don't let those follow-ups fall through the cracks. Don't let the follow-ups fall through the cracks. Those are the ones who keep watching, but they're not the ones who are commenting. They want to know. They were engaged. They wanted the information, but maybe they went back and forth with you. They gave you the runaround. They made you feel like, God, why won't you just do this? It just wasn't the right time. All right? And then grow your email list, right? So what I do is every time I connect with someone on Instagram or I connect with them on Facebook, I ask for their email. And then I put them into my Google Streak pipeline so that I know that I can follow up with them. And that's a whole different training for another day. But I know that growing their email is a great way for me to actually recap information that I was sharing on social media. So in my email that I send to them, I will ask them for more information, but I will let them know and remind them what they were interested in. It's also a great way for you to send out weekly emails that can recap everything that you offered and gave throughout the week on your social media. And then lastly, it gives them an opportunity to get to know you. You could put a couple of videos in those emails. You could share a live tip that you did on IGTV, a funny story, a picture of you and your kids, but it allows them to see sort of an inside scoop and actually get to know you without necessarily engaging with you on social media. So don't underestimate the power of the email list. And I'm going to go back real quick because I want to ask you these questions as I'm going through these. How many of you are saying right now, I should do that? I should do that. You should. You need to go do that. You need to start creating your email list. All those people that are like waiting for you to respond, those follow-ups that you need to do, go do that. Go actually complete that. If you're getting on this call and you're like, oh, this was great information, and you wake up tomorrow morning and you remember none of it, you just wasted an hour of your life. You will never get that hour back, and you spent it with me. That's not cool. You don't need to spend an hour with me unless you're getting something from it, okay? You know what I mean? Michael Steven Ursta's over there too. I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm really tired. I'm kidding. All right. Last thing. So how to earn an impact income, right? Provide to your audience resources. You want to add value. Little things that you can do. For example, it took me 10 minutes today. I just went live on IGTV and I talked about 3 ways that I personally overcame my own price objections. When I didn't want to invest in Shakeology, I talked about how I, stopped going to Starbucks. I think I said, I talked about how, I started meal planning, and then I saved up a little bit of money here and there. So I was giving, I was adding value. The emails and the groups, if you guys are, some of you guys, does anyone in here run free groups still? I used to run them all the time, but I haven't been. Steph, do you still run them? Free groups? Does anyone in here run them? I might have to test those out again too. Okay, free community. How can I serve? I love that. How can I serve? Okay. Yeah, I haven't in a long time. I'm actually thinking, because I haven't seen a lot of people do one, I might do one. I think I'm gonna do one. I should do one, which means I'm gonna do one. How did it go? The sugar detox one. Yes, I've been doing one in the pre-launch groups. That's a good idea too. So you're running it like a free group, your launch group?
I just added value every day in it. So you know what I mean? I gave them stuff.
Yeah.
I invited to that group, just come learn more. And then each day would share a tip. I just pulled stuff off Autumn's page, really.
I like that. But the bigger purpose around it too is, as much as you're adding value, it's also a platform for you to advertise what services you have to offer and the way that you actually coach. So when she's in that launch group or she's in that community, people get a feel for what Megan's actually like and how she actually works, just the way she actually works. So it's an advertising platform for you. But the emails for me also serve as that too. So if I'm sending out a weekly email, people are getting a feel for how I talk about nutrition. I'm giving them free tips and strategies. I'll often give them a link back to something I did on IG so that they can find me on social media. But if they missed it, they'll be able to see it in there as well. And then I also suggest advertising for a very simple freemium that people can sign up for. It might be a 5-day meal plan. It could be a sugar detox recipe. It could be your favorite nacho supreme cleaned up, and that shoot me your email, I'll get it over to you. So anywhere that you can offer value and you can advertise something for free. And then lastly, just keep following up with people. Add value and focus on them. That is how you end up really growing the business. That is how over time you end up making an impact. That is how your business over time is going to consistently have a steady pipeline of potential clients within it as well. So like I said, this was not a long, fancy call by any means. It's just a way for you to think about, here I am, it's the end of Q1. Where am I with my goals? And maybe if I am exactly where I am, it's probably because I am doing exactly what I set out to do. But if you aren't doing the activities that you set out to do in the first place, what do we need to change? What are the activities that might need to change a little bit? And chances are it's probably at one of these gut check questions. All right, so questions for me before we end the call. Quiet, it's a quiet night. Nada, hi Gavin. Is he Gavin? Yeah, I'll send it. Yeah, I got you. I don't want to see Gavin. I love it. I love it. Oh, little baby snuggles. Very cool. All right. So if you guys don't have anything else, let's take a quick picture. If somebody has it ready to go. And congratulations to everyone who absolutely rocked the launch today. I heard it went so well for so many of you guys. And I just can't wait to hear about all of you guys like getting certified and all that fun stuff. So shout out to you guys. UPF test group, can you let us know? Do you mean like how we talked about, Michelle? I love that. I love that. So I think that's cool. If you missed the beginning of the call, we talked about the people who are getting certified in UPF running a test group.
I wrote that down when you said that, Katie. And I've seen the post floating around by like everybody that says, and it went around when 2B came out too. Do you want to lose? I'm looking for 5 to 10 people who want to lose 5 to 10 pounds over the next whatever days with no exercise. And it seems to be working extremely well. Like people say that and get a ton of comments on it to do the whole fitness and no exercise. But which works. I just feel like fitness is such a huge part of it. I did that with 2B. That was my marketing approach with 2B. And to be honest, I don't want to do the exact same marketing for this that I did for 2B. So personally, like when you said that, I thought of that same thing. Like I'm looking for the first 10 people who will trust in me to be their master coach, and share something about how you just finished your certification and, you want to look for this group that's going to allow you to link arms together and do these weekly calls. Like, I don't know exactly, because at the same time, like I've been promoting a Remix the Fix group and I don't really want to run like another one. So I'm like trying to think how I would word it that it's not like, I don't know. But I do think that there is value to that. Like I think that you can leverage that extra knowledge. I mean, you're paying for it, right? Like you're going to be paying for this ongoing certification, like leverage it for your business.
And you're trained by her, right? I mean, like she's part of like the groups and stuff.
Yeah. So like the coach test group for this isn't going to be like prior coach test groups would have like coaches come in doing trainings in them and corporate doing training in them. The coach test group for Ultimate Portion Fix is more of an accountability test group.
Okay.
You have to have the actual coaching certification to get like the deeper training to it.
Got it.
Is what I gathered from it.
I mean, like what I would do is I would get out a piece of like paper, like a big white sheet of paper, and I would actually like brainstorm like everything that makes you qualified, like beyond qualified to coach someone through this, and then write down all of those things. Like you would write down like I'm being trained by Autumn Calabrese. I would write down like that you're actually certified, like you went through a testing, like you have learned the program inside and out, why you care so much about nutrition. Did you have your own transformation? Have you helped other people get transformation? So you write down all these qualifications. And the thing is, when you're writing down those qualifications that make you like a good coach for this, you start to actually build this confidence in yourself and be like, I really am very qualified to coach this. I very much am qualified to coach this. I've lived it. I love it. I know that I can help somebody else through this too. But you just have to find this little like slight edge of how you're going to market this to other people and who you want to talk to. So don't forget, be specific with the audience that you're trying to put this out to. Being very, and like who is your ideal like market? Who are the people that you want to help the most? Those are the people that we should be talking to at this. So just kind of take those things into consideration and just sit down and really like map out what you want your marketing to be. So just like with Megan, what she had mentioned, if she saw, and I think a couple of people, I think Shannon Lowe and our team did, and I think Rachel maybe just did, they had like their actual like picture up of the certification. And when they had that picture up of the certification, if they had like the one liner about like how they just got certified, I would then do another post that says, I am looking for the first 10 people who are willing to give me feedback about the new program as I work with my first clients as, you know, a first time, you know, master trainer or whatever, master coach, whatever it might be. And then even from there, once I do like that one-liner post and I have my certification picture, I would probably have another post that shows like what the concept is. And then I would have like I was going to say 2B mindset of ultimate portion fix. And then I would do another post that really talks about why nutrition is so key. And then from there, I would do a live video. I would go on IG live and I would share a video about maybe 3 tips that you learned as a new master coach. And then I would take that video and I would put it on my IGTV. And then I would share it to Facebook. So there's just everything that you can think of, like just put it on a big sheet of paper, right? All the reasons why you're like the best like coach for UPF, right? And then once you put all those things on a piece of paper, then find where you can actually put the information. I can put it on IG. I can put it on Facebook. I can take this and I can put it in my IGTV, and then I can put it in my IG Live. So you can walk your way through all of those things. So don't overthink it, simplify it. Big idea of what makes you different as a coach, what you have to offer people, brainstorm that all out, and then build your marketing from there. Don't overcomplicate it. I'm not doing ultimate portion fix, but I would be more than happy to show you how I do this for like 2B mindset. I don't know if that helps you, but if it does, I'm more than happy to do it. I actually have it here, so I'll show you this. Hold on. I'm going to show this to you real quick. Okay, this is what I did, and I didn't mean to get off track with this talk. But I took this big sheet of paper, right? So this is 2B mindset. This is what 2B mindset means to me. So I said to myself, all right, Katie, what is the problem that I solve? And then I wrote down like all of the things that 2B mindset sort of solves. And then I said, why am I the one who can help? So what's the connection piece? And then I started writing down all of the reasons why I, Katy, am qualified to coach somebody in 2B mindset. So I wrote down like I love cake. I wrote down that I have a yo-yo pass, right? I hate deprivation. Like if somebody tells me I can't eat cake, I will punch them in the face. Like I have triggers, the emotional, the addiction to sugar, like all of that. And then I wrote down like my slight edge. And so my slight edge is what my people get because they chose me as their coach. So for me, they get a welcome kit. I talk about my nutritional training that like I'm focused on like the triggers of emotional eating. I talk about being certified as a 2B coach. I talk about the elimination guide that I give my clients. So I write down all of these things. And you can see I'm working my way through some objections right now, but just write down like what makes you qualified for this program. And when you really feel confident about it, guess what you have? You have your marketing strategy right there. Like you have everything you need. Like, okay, I can do a good post about having a yo-yo pass. Totally. Because that was me. That's my story. All right, I can talk a little bit about eating cake. Yep, I can absolutely talk about that. And then I can talk about why this program isn't about deprivation. So I can do that part of it too. So once you kind of figure out like what makes you different, what problem you solve, you have your marketing plan. So maybe just take that approach with it. I got really excited there when I talked about 2B mindset. All right, do you guys have anything else? I would love to see some of your messy marketing plans. You guys should share them. Share them in the team page. Give your ideas, your thoughts, your strategies, whatever it might be, and then just bring it into your posts, your content, and it will be amazing. All right? Cool. That's all I got. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye, guys.